Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd. It is 1:56 p.m. This is the one-on-one session with Zach. So if you guys have any questions, we're not going to be answering any outside questions for today. It's just going to be a one-on-one session with me and Zach. So if you guys want to sit in and listen in for this mentoring session, you guys are more than welcome. But mainly all the questions are going to be coming from Zach. I'm going to be helping him one-on-one with whatever he needs help with. So you guys are more than welcome to sit in, and I'll be sending that link over to him shortly. So just give me a few moments to finish setting this up, and we should be good to go. All right, so let me get this link sent out to him real quick. Hey, Zach, how's it going? I think you might be muted, so if you want to unmute yourself, that'll work. Or if you just want to type, that works too. But whichever you prefer. I'm going to send these links out to the group here as well for people who want to sit in.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, Zach. Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Good, thank you. Sorry, my thing for some reason just wouldn't let me unmute.
Oh, you're fine. No problem. I think you're good now. It's kind of choppy. I can kind of hear you, but it's like muted again. It's all good though. We'll try to make it work. So I think you're muted right now, Zach. Or it might be connection. I'm not sure.
Here, I'll be good here in just 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. All right, cool. Looks like you're good.
Okay, cool. I should be all set now.
Perfect. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, so you're good to go.
Are you picking up yourself too? Can you hear yourself?
No, I'm good. I get you're fine. I'm on like a separate mic, so it's not like echoing, so it should be good.
Amazing.
Awesome. All right, so this session is, basically for you. So whatever questions you have, feel free to ask. I can show you whatever you need help with. This session is also recorded, so if you want to go back and review it at some later time, it'll be available for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so I am new to your whole course. I've been following you for about like 2.5 weeks now. So I did the whole I did the free trial, and then I was watching every day. And one thing I had a question about was the whole FTMO thing, how that setup goes, and like how you trade. Are you using TradingView to trade with FTMO, or are you using the MT4?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I have to use MT4. I only use TradingView to do my charting, but all my executions go on MT4. They currently don't support TradingView yet. I think eventually they will, because this is the platform everyone uses. But for the moment, they only allow for MT4 and MT5. So I typically have like 3 screens. I have one main screen with my charts. I have another screen with just MT4, and then the other screen with the chat. So for the most part, I have like 3 separate screens. I just hit buy or sell on MT4, but then I do all my actual charting on TradingView.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so the basic.
And when you're,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, what broker are you using to trade the US 30?
So I use mainly FTMO. That's my main account. And then on my copier, I have MFF. I also have a True Forex Funds. And then for my personal account, I'm not really using it very much, but I still do have it. I use Henko Trade. I have two different accounts. I have Henko Trade for my scalping, and then I have He Goes Away for my longer trades.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. I'm curious on all that. One area I'm struggling in is the drawing the zones on the high-low scalp, like knowing where the best zone is to go. That so many lines pop up. Sometimes I just get confused or accidentally overline them.
Yeah,
Overlap them.
yeah, no, definitely. So like, I'll make the screen bigger right here. So when you're identifying the high-low, like if you're applying the pivot scalp strategy, you're just looking at the most recent momentum. So like, say for example here, if you have like a buy signal like this right here, you're only looking back at the most recent low. So if you're looking for a buy, obviously you want to look for the low here. So what you would do is you just get the rectangle tool. I use the magnet tool right here to just focus on these areas. And then I draw the zone right there. So that's where the zone would be. Vice versa. If you're looking for a sell, you're going to look for the opposite. So for example, we have a sell signal right here. You're just going to be looking for the high instead of the low, since you want to see where price is rejecting from. So for example, here you have a sell signal. You will draw your zone at the most recent high. So you don't care about the low, since prices, you're anticipating it to push down for a sell, and then vice versa for a buy. You're going to be anticipating for the low. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So the top starts at the recent high. Where do I put the bottom of it? Do I do it at nearest structure
For the for
of
the
the zone?
yeah, so for the zone, you just draw it at the high candle. So for example, let me just go to a bigger candle because this is market close, so the candles are kind of small. I think this will be easier for you to see over here. Let me just clean everything off right here. Okay, so right here we have the sell signal, and where you're going to draw the zone is you're going to go to this high candle. So see where this high candle is right here? You're going to draw your zone from the top of that candle to the bottom of the candle, and that's going to be your zone.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just
Cool.
that.
I was getting.
Yeah, you're
I was
probably.
using the indicators that create the zones as they go.
Oh, yeah, those are different. So for this specific strategy, you're identifying supply and demand. For the SR indicator, this is what you're using, right? You see so many zones there, so this is why you're confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for
Yeah.
this identifies support and resistance. So support and resistance is different from like supply and demand. Supply and demand is basically like identifying where price pushes from. So like say for example, you have like let me see if I can find a good example here. So like say for example, right here you have a momentum candle, and then you're basically identifying where supply and demand is. So supply and demand is a little different from support and resistance, because support and resistance could be like this whole area down here. This would be like considered a support, right?
Yeah.
For supply and demand, you're just looking for price to push away from a certain point. So like this low here is established, and this would be considered demand, because from here you can see a lot of buy orders come up, because if you move forward, you'll see that price kind of skyrockets from this area. So they're completely
that is so helpful.
Yeah,
That's so helpful. Yeah, I was mixing up the strategies. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, because supply and demand is like where areas bounce from, where you're looking for order or supply and demand is where like price shoots away from. Support and resistance is like where you see bounces from. So for example, if you have the supply and demand indicator here, you already have, or not supply and demand, sorry, support and resistance. You already have the support dialed in right there. So when price does come back, it's already set up. So you already know where the price is likely to bounce from, but they're a bit different. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. I took one trade today after your live session, and I wanted to know if this would have been a decent 1. My time is in UTC, so on mine it was at 17:15, I believe. So that's 11:15, right?
11 my time, right?
Yeah.
I think so. I could use that here. Let me just pull up a time zone converter. Uh,
My time zone is Pacific, but my trading view was UTC, I guess, when I
okay,
took this.
you have it at -8, right? Or is there's negative?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, so you're on my time then.
Oh, okay. So then it was 17:15.
Okay. Was that today?
Yeah.
Okay, I think our times are different because I'm barely at 15, so there's no 17 on mine yet.
Oh, okay. So try 11:15.
11:15. Okay, so 11:15 would be right over here. So I don't see any. I don't see an entry at the specific candle. Is that like where the entry came from, or is it? I see.
Yeah. That's where. Sorry.
Okay, let's see. 11:15. So I don't see any entry right here. I do see a momentum signal like a few candles later. This one, I'm not sure if this is the one that you're referring to. 11:7.
That's yeah. Sorry, that's the one I'm referring to.
Okay.
I took a photo of it.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're good. Okay, so let's see. We got this right here. And you're applying the high level momentum, right? Or the pivot high level momentum.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So for this right here, I'll put up the requirements. So for the high low momentum pivot scalp, basically you're going to identify the momentum signal. So you do that properly. You take the trade off the momentum signal. You're going to draw the zone right here at the nearest low. Third, you want to confirm that price is rejecting off it. So for the third requirement, you do have this candle right here rejecting off the zone. And you just want to confirm the trend. So this right here, I would consider a little bit risky. The reason for that is because the trend isn't really bullish here on the one minute. You typically get these weirder movements like middle of session because people are like going to lunch or like, people are just signing off for the day. So what I'll do here is I'll look at other time frames. So looking over here at the 5 and the 10, it was bullish today. So, you could have taken a risk here because it was bullish anyways. So if you wanted to take the trade, you probably could have because you would have anticipated the 1 minute to follow with it since the higher time frames are already bullish. So I would consider this a little risky, but it does meet criteria. So if you were to take this trade right here, you enter your long position when this candle closes, you set your TP stop loss to 100, 300, you let the trade run, and it looks like it does hit. So I would consider this a solid entry. I mean, not a great entry, but it would be an entry nonetheless, because basically most of the requirements do align here. And, you could have taken a shortcut here, even though it wasn't bullish yet, it was bullish prior. So you can see right here, price was bullish. It came down a little bit for retracement, but since price was swinging back up, you already knew price was probably going to correct back to the upside. Plus you looked on the higher time frames. If you did, 5 minute was bullish, 10 minute was bullish. You could have just made the assumption that price was going to follow through. So, yeah, I would consider this an okay position, maybe better than okay, because basically everything was aligned. The only difference was that the trend here wasn't super confirmed. It was a bit iffy.
And it was after 8 too. So
yeah, definitely. So I think 11's it's an okay time to trade. Basically, when I do trade, I'll trade from 6:30 to 8, and then usually from there I'll take a break because the market tends to consolidate from like 8 to 10, and then from like 10 to 11:30, close to 12. That's when the market starts to pick up again. So you actually picked a decent time to take a trade, because if you look at other entries here, it looks like there was a couple other entries that came up over here that could have been okay as well. I think there was one prior right here too. And this one would have been another entry as well, using the same strategy.
okay.
So there's actually like another one right before it, right here at 1047, 1048, and then your next one, which would have been right here.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think that was an okay entry. A little bit risky because not everything is like so set in stone, but you're not going to find entries like that a lot anyway. So you have a lesser probability, but odds of it hitting are still very likely.
Okay, cool. And so when you're doing the daily trades, you're doing it from your FTMO account.
Yes. So all of my main trades, Yeah, my main account is my FTMO. I have it set to a copier. So I have two FTMOs. So I have one main one. My copier FTMO goes to my second one. And then I have three MFF accounts. Those copy to that account as well. And then one TFF and one personal account, which is my Henko. But I haven't been using the Henko very much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a small account. So
I hadn't heard
oh, go ahead.
of FTMO until coming across you. So that I'm definitely more curious about it. I did the free trial and passed that.
Awesome, man. That's great. Yeah, that's good because it's a good start. You know that it's like passable. You know, a lot of people think it's impossible, but
Yeah.
it's doable. Yeah, I've been using FTMO for like about 2 or 3 years now. They're the most reliable because they haven't really had issues. They've been paying out pretty solidly. They are very strict though. So if you do violate any of the requirements, even if you've been a member for a long time, they'll still take the account away. So you still have to like follow the rules. But for the most part, they've been the most reliable, best execution times, on-time payouts. I mean, everything's pretty much consistent with them and they've been around the longest. So they're number one. My second one that I use is MFF. It's my Forex funds. They're kind of a newer company, so they do have issues. And then True Forex funds, which is the newest out of the three. I don't recommend the other two unless you've maxed out the FTMO, but for the most part, they're pretty solid.
So how long can you use the FTMO for? What does maxing it out mean?
So maxing it out is basically the max allocation. So like what you can do is you can have a maximum of 400,000 with them. I have two split accounts. You can merge them, but I like just using separate accounts because it just works better for my trading style since all accounts are the same. I don't have to use different lot sizes. Maxing it out is basically just having the max amount of accounts with them. Which is 200,000. They're probably going to. Okay. It used to be 100. It used to be like 100,000, and then these other companies came out, so they had to compete, so they made it 200,000, and then from there they're going to keep increasing as more companies come out, which is good because they're like the gold standard, so they're pretty solid overall. And the good thing about them too is like I don't know if you own any businesses or if you know how to like set them up. You can. Oh, go ahead.
I have one.
Okay.
I have one business. I own an escape room.
Oh, that's nice, dude. That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah. So basically, what you would do is you can run FTMO as a business because the way that they pay you out is through a service because you're basically trading their account. You're not necessarily trading a live account because what they do is they do the same thing I'm doing with my copiers. They'll have your account basically copy, or they'll have their account copy your main account. So that they can basically cut it off if they need to, right? So the way that they pay you out is basically as a service, like you're doing your service of trading their, quote unquote demo account, but it's realistically they're copying the trades, or I hope they do. So what they do is they'll just pay you the profits that you make off the demo accounts, and then they come off as like you come off as like an independent contractor. So like you're basically like doing some type of service for them. And you can run that through the business. It's not considered trading profits. You get taxed differently.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, so that's why I focus mainly on that because when I do trade on my personal account, you have to handle your taxes yourself, and it's a nightmare, dude. Like, because when you're trading on like an unregulated broker, they don't send you like actual tax documents. So like last year was such a mess. I had to pay like so much like in back taxes because I didn't document it properly. Like you really have to document all your trades. And if you're day trading, it's a mess because you have like, hundreds to 1,000 trades a year to really go back and look at.
Yeah. So then for the FTMO, when I was doing the free trial thing, there wasn't a way to put the stop loss based on ticks or like pips. I had to put in the exact number I wanted to have my take profit and stop loss at. Is there a way around that, or do you just use TradingView to make sure you have the exact numbers and then go?
Yeah, so great question. That's a new tool that I learned about this year that made things a whole lot easier. So if you're on FTMO, there's a tool called FTMO Quick Trade Manager. So if you go to the FTMO client, area, there's an area we can go to downloads. And then from there, they have this tool that's an add-on for MT4 where you can just add it to your MT4. And then from there, you can set the number of ticks that you want. So like exactly what you're looking for. Basically what I do on mine is I have it automatically set because we're using a set TP stop loss for our trades, which is, 100, 300 or,
Yeah.
10, 30 points. I'll just put the number in there. And then all I do, so I put my lot size, I put my stop loss and my TP. And then all I do is when I see the entry here on TradingView, like say you see the candle here close, right? The only thing I have to do is hit buy on MT4 and then it automatically populates your TP stop loss. So from there, I don't do anything. I just enter the trade and then I let the trade run to profit target and then it automatically pulls me out.
Okay, that's faster. That was one thing I was struggling with. Thank you.
Yeah, it's way faster because these scalps happen so fast. I mean, sometimes it'll happen like this within the first 2 minutes. Sometimes it happens like in a few seconds, right? You don't really know if it's going to skyrocket to your TP or if it's going to like hang around for a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and there's another tool too. If you don't want to use the FTMO Quick Trade Manager, like if you're using a different broker, if you go to your MT4 and right click on the chart, there's this tool called a depth of market tool, the DOM. When you pull that up, it's going to do the same thing. So it'll pull up a chart. It's kind of like, have you heard of level 2 on like different brokers?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it basically shows you like the bid and ask price, and then you basically do the same thing. You'll put your lot size, and then you just hit buy or sell, and then from there it'll automatically plot your TP stop loss. I just like the trade manager because it shows actual profit. Like under your stop loss, it'll show like -3,000 or -1,000.
Oh, awesome. That's so much better for me. I get confused the lot sizes and the pips. It's annoying. Different between different brokers. It's confusing.
Oh yeah, no, it's super annoying. So like that kind of threw me off on the DOM. I actually blew one of my accounts or a couple accounts not a couple months ago because I was copying another trade. I was trading the NASDAQ. I never trade the NASDAQ, but like one day I wanted to trade it. And the lot sizes on FTMO versus the other brokers were completely different. So for the other brokers, they actually instantly violated the accounts because it was like times 10. Like I was taking a 10 lot on FTMO, but it was equal to times 10 on the other brokers. So as soon as it went into any negative, it just violated it immediately.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I learned about something I did on that. I was using a personal account and there was a giant launch and it did the same thing. It terminated my thing and I lost like $500 out of nowhere.
Oh man, it's horrible. Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't that I also don't like about the personal account because there's no safety net, right? You can lose like your entire account. With these funding companies, like once you hit your violation, you're pretty much done. But once you get your first payout, you get a refund. So like, you pay like $500 for your challenge. Once you get your first payout, you get the $500 back, plus you get your profit. So you're basically trading risk free at that point.
Wait, so the second you pay the $500, are you actually trading their money from the get-go, or you have to pass the challenge first?
Yeah, so you got to pass the challenge first. So first, what you'll do is you'll pass the challenge. You got to make 10% within the first 30 days, but realistically, it's more than that because if you're in profit at the end of the 30 days, they're not just going to kick you out. They're going to be like, okay, I'll give you an extension. Sometimes you have a slow month. So that's why I always try to tell people that you don't have to rush it. Like, it might take you 30 days to get funded or pass your challenge, or it might take you longer, but as long as you pass it, that's the real key. So initially you'll play on not a real account, on an actual demo account. And they just want to make sure that you're consistent, right? Because they don't want to copy trades and then you're just going to lose all the money. So what they'll do, what they'll do first is initially on the challenge, it'll be basically like a fake account. They just want to see if you can actually trade and be consistent. Once you pass the challenge, you'll move on to the verification. So the challenge is first, you got to make 10%, which is not super difficult. The verification is even easier. So for the challenge, you get 30 days to make 10%. For the verification, you get 60 days to make 5%. Half of that. As long as you're using proper lot sizes, you should be able to pass within the allotted time.
And how do you know what lot size to use?
Yeah, so I mean, depending on your account size, like for me, I'm using a $200,000 account. So like for me, I can only lose Are you looking at my screen or should I just talk? I'm not sure if you're.
I'm looking at your screen. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, perfect. So I have a 200 FTMO account, and then basically, daily
Okay.
max loss is 5%. So for me, basically, what I'm risking per trade, per scalp, I'm risking 3,000, right? So
Okay.
per scalp, I'm risking 3,000 to make 1,000. And the reason for that is because it's a scalp. Obviously, it's not a regular intraday trade, so you kind of have to do a negative risk reward to get in and out of these trades rather quickly. So this is what I'm risking. 1% of 200,000 is 2,000. So my risk here is basically 1.5%. Risk per trade is 1.5%. You can always go higher, but I like using this because I don't plan on losing the trade. Like whenever I take a trade, I know it's going to win, right? At least have a good idea it's going to win. So I'm basically just bagging, $1,000 each trade. So like I'm basically risking 1% to make, 0.5%. And then I'm taking maybe like 5 to 10 trades a week generally. And for the most part, they typically win. Like we don't really, like this week we didn't have any losses. I think we have about like 4 or 5 trades already, all straight wins. So when I'm doing that, I'm making the profit, and then you have basically you have a month, basically 30 days, which is equal to like 4 weeks of trading. So you really just have to make X amount of trades to make that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just basically identifying your percentage. I know some people take bigger lot sizes. For me, I'm already funded. So it's like, I'm not going for that 10% goal every month. I mean, if I reach it, great, but I'm not really looking to take too much risk, because once you're funded, the real challenge is now just staying funded, right? Because a lot of people will get funded and then they'll blow their account like the next day. It's crazy.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's the thing that a lot of people, like for me, I was taking bigger lot sizes too before. So I was taking like right now it's a 10 lot, or a 100 lot is equivalent to a 10 lot before. I was basically taking double that, and I would pass I could pass challenges within like a week or so, because you're taking so much risk, but you're making so much profit right away. So for me, I'm more of a conservative trader. So I typically only use 100 lot. And 100 lot is not really that much. It's like equivalent to like a 1 lot for a normal account, like a standard account. FTMO uses micro lots, so the lot sizing is way different. It's like times 10 or times 100 compared to compared to a normal broker. So realistically, I'm taking maybe like 1 lot per trade. And I just base it off percentages. So I'm risking like about 1%. So if I do lose a trade, it doesn't set me back too far, because you can lose 10%, the entire month. So I would literally have to lose like, about 8 to 10 trades back to back in order for me to like lose the challenge. So it's more of a slow progress, but a slowly but surely progress to getting to that point where people need to pass their challenge, or remain funded. Because the main thing is like, this is like the main thing people lose their account from, the daily max loss. Like this is where revenge trading happens, because I'm only risking 1.5%. So if I lose 2 or 3 trades a day, I'm still fine. Like I'm still okay. I'm not going to blow the account. But what happens is people lose a trade, and then they'll start taking all these revenge trades, and they'll take like 5, 6, 7, 8 trades, and then of course it's going to add up at that point.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Managing that mindset there is hard.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's really the trade psychology. Like for myself, if I ever lose a trade, I pretty much just call it a day. Because I know these strategies.
That's so smart.
Yeah, because there's enough days in the week for you, or enough days in the month, or days in the year to really call it a day. Because like I'm so used to just winning trades that if I do lose the trade, it's a sign to me that okay, the market's probably not working in my favor today. And that usually doesn't happen too often. Like it'll happen maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks, and then from there, I'll make it back on the next day. So it's really just setting.
Okay, cool. And so then I guess the only thing I have then is I just want to because before I was thinking the high-low pivot was based off of the support resistance lines. What strategy is based off the support resistance zones?
Yeah, so the support resistance, that would be the intraday trade that we take, which would be the SR zone strategy. So if it uses the so this is one of them, and I think the other one that you might be referring to would be the let me just clean up the chart real quick. It's one of the strategies we were actually applying a lot before, but since I'm doing this new revamp of the course, I kind of just want to stick to a couple of strategies. But the one that you're referring to would be the SR rejection. So if it's using the SR, yeah, anything that uses the SRs typically will have SR in the name.
Okay.
So this is the one that you're referring to, the SR rejection on the 1 minute. And then for the Forex trades, or not necessarily just Forex, but any of the trades taken on the higher time frames would be the SR zone. So they typically have SR. But yeah, this is the one you're referring to. This one works well too. It's just this strategy doesn't really come up too. I mean, it comes up, but it doesn't come up as often as you'd like, right? Because we're on the session like an hour, and you can't be waiting for a whole hour and not have an entry, right? So
you're focusing on the high-low pivot scalp then?
Yes, the high-low momentum pivot scalp.
Momentum, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, there's a high-low pivot scalp strategy, and I don't want to get you, or a high-low scalp strategy, and I don't want to get you confused with it. We have like so many strategies. The problem with this here is that they all kind of are similar, so people get confused.
Yeah.
We'll go from like this strategy to the high-low scalp to the high-low momentum pivot scalp to the normal pivot scalp, right? They're all basically the same strategy. It's just different requirements that are set. So like with the new revamp of the course, I'm going to focus on just like 3 strategies that people can just focus on, because I don't want people to get confused. Like how you got confused with this one here, you know, this is with the strategy still works fine. Like for example, there's an entry right here. And if you want to apply this, you can. It's just these entries don't come up as often. So you'll be looking at the charts for like days and sometimes not have entries. And it's just going to suck, because you're going to see all these moves pass, and you're not going to be able to take anything. So for example, on this strategy, you're just confirming the trend. So the trend meter down here is green. You identify bottom wick rejection off the zone, which is the zone that you properly identified right there. And then you just take a trade. Bullish momentum, take a trade there. Same type of strategy. It's just a different entry point. So you take the trade there and it still works. It's just, it's a little, so I don't want to confuse people with it.
Got it. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you showing me an example anyway.
Yeah, no problem. So is there anything else you want to cover, or this pretty much covers all your questions?
That pretty much covered all my questions. So then, oh yeah, just one more then. The 3 strategies you're doing right now are what?
Yes. So the 3 strategies, let me just zoom this out and I'll put them out right here. So basically for our live sessions, I'm only taking 2 strategies. The first one is going to be high-low momentum pivot scalp, this one. And the second one would be the momentum scalp alone. Let's see if it's, I got to refresh this chart. All right. And then the other one is going to be the momentum scalp. So the main difference between these 2, I mean, these are very similar. And the thing is, they can be used as a confluence because, you know, obviously the more confluences, the better, is the high-low momentum pivot scalp. This one's based off the high lows. So like basically the main differentiator of these 2 is basically you're looking for the high lows for the zone. You're looking for price to bounce off it. And then you have the momentum scalp where you're looking at 3 different time frames. So I have 2 different tabs here that are open for each strategy, so I don't confuse them. So like basically right here, I'll have 3 these open. And
you went over this momentum one yesterday, right?
Yeah. I went over this on the mentoring session. So this one's pretty, this is actually the very first scalping strategy I came up with using my indicators. The only problem with this before was that I couldn't apply it on Forex because the spread's so wide. For US 30, it's so easy because you can just, the volatility is high. Like you have a set time, 6:30 to 8. You just get in and out, and then you just, you know, wrap it up for the day. So these are basically the main 2 strategies that we're applying for the live sessions. The third strategy is going to be mainly for Forex because it's applied on the 4-hour time frame. And it's this one right here, which is the SR zone strategy.
Cool.
Yeah. you want to see examples of them, or you good?
I'm good on. I just watched the whole mentoring session from yesterday, so
Oh,
you
awesome.
covered that pretty well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, I'm gonna revamp that and I'll put like actual strategy videos so that you can review it. But I think for the most part, it's not too difficult. I'm applying it every day, so you see like live examples during each session.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in one right now, I believe, the GBP EUR one.
Oh, nice. GBP euro.
Wait, let me verify though.
Yeah, I've never traded that pair. That's all I was wondering. GBP
Hold
euro
on.
or euro GBP. You might be that one.
Yeah,
Opposite.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Because
what I meant.
yeah, I've never seen it where it's the opposite way. Um, Yeah, so this one right here, the problem with this pair right here is that if you've ever traded Euro GBP, it's a slow moving pair. So this is probably going to range for a bit
Yeah.
before it actually moves. And the distance is so long, so far apart. I actually got pulled out of this because I moved my stop loss and profit a little early when this one closed down here. Like typically what I'll do is if we're in a week where I'm not expecting to hold the trade for too long. So that's one problem too. If you're trading with FTMO, you can't hold trades over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this week is Thanksgiving, and I actually lost my very first FTMO account trading on a holiday week. So on Thanksgiving, the market's technically open, but it closes like at 9 a.m. So when it closes for 9 a.m., it closes for like 4 hours. And when it does, they consider that a weekend. So I actually lost one of my funded accounts a long time ago due to that because I held a trade into the
No.
day. Yeah, and then I came back and it was crazy because the trade closed in profit, but they were like, "Oh, you violated, one of the requirements." So they had to take the account away and I had to restart a challenge. I passed it, of course, but it was just a hassle, because then I didn't get payouts for like a whole month or like 2 months.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crappy, but I thought I learned from it, and then I did the same thing again like on another holiday, like a couple months later. Yeah, they keep coming up with well, I mean, they're not coming up with holidays, but like new holidays keep popping up like here in the US. So they just end up it's like I think this year it was like Juneteenth. I didn't realize Juneteenth was a holiday. Because they don't,
Same.
yeah,
Same. I didn't know what the hell that was.
yeah, because they didn't like I knew what Juneteenth was, but like they didn't ever consider it a federal holiday. So like I was like, okay, I still traded on that day, but then I realized the market was closed for like 4 hours. I came back, the account was like violated. So it happens, but
Oh no.
yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for the heads up though.
Yeah. So
That's a
like
good warning to know.
yeah, exactly. On holidays, I just don't trade at all. Like I'll be on the charts and I'll look for trades, but I for sure like will either trade really early, but not like anywhere near the close off time, which is typically 9 o'clock my time. So I don't know. I think that'd be a couple hours ahead for you or behind actually.
I, I'm in California, so
Oh, you're in
Pacific
California.
time.
Oh, so your time is normal. It's just your charts look different. Is that right?
Yeah, my chart's not normal for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same time. Yeah. Yours just it should be at -8, I believe. That's where mine's at. Yeah. So it's all good. Um,
Okay.
you might have it on Eastern time, I think. Sounds about right. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
some
Yeah. It sounds like my time's in Europe, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Switzerland time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense now. It's like way different. But yeah,
All
so
right. Well, cool. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out, but I think you'll pretty much pick things up along the way.
Yeah. No, this clarified a lot of stuff I wanted to know. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely. Yeah, no problem, Zach. All right, cool. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. If you're gonna be on the live session, I'll probably see you tomorrow morning.